Hello, my name is Dr. Shambles, and today we are going to go over what will be the blue-yellow ace. Why am I going through this? Why am I going to talk about him? It's really simple, because I'm going to be playing him as soon as the structure deck comes out. So in case you're thinking about building him, or if you need some information, I'm just going to give it to you. I believe this deck will be super fun. I've been watching a lot of replays on this deck, and this deck is so fun. I really, and it's really cheap, I believe. So for that, unfortunately, on the sim, these cards are still not updated. They're not there yet, so we're gonna have to go through here. Why am I showing you this deck list? Because this will be pretty much mine. I'll pretty much play this one with just little tweaks here and there. So everything will be the same for me. 3 2K Sanjis, 4 Satoris, this card as well, the Kozuki Hiyori, I'll go through it. Currently then, I'm not playing 3, I believe I'm gonna play 2 of these. 4 Sabos, 4 of each Owl, 4 of each Ace, 4 of each Luffy's, 4 Gar because he's a searcher. 2 Yamatos, I do agree with 2 Yamatos, I'll get to this, don't worry, we're gonna go through the deck list a little bit here. 2 Puddings, I would like to play her at 3, but because of space, I do agree with the 2 Pudding. She's a really good card, I mean she's just a better version of Blocker Law. And then just 1 Tsuru. This can help you finish game, or it's a 2k counter. Most of the time, unfortunately, it will be a 2k counter, but I'll get to her as well. 1 Amaru, and 2 Sanji Pilaf. I don't agree with 2, I would play 3, taking away the 2 Girly Dadan. I'll get to why. So, first of all, the 3 Sanjis, completely agree. So pretty much the strategy with Ace, if you don't know, is you attach 2 Dawn, and then you activate his effect, which is you look through 5 cards off the top of your deck, and then you try and see if you can get one of the grown-up versions of the brothers. You put it face up on the top of your life, and then you play a kid version of that same card. So if you saw Sabo and you put Sabo on your life, then you just pay to Dawn, activate Sabo, and then you trash him. He trashes himself, playing this from the top of your life, and he also, this is very important, gives 2k to your leader. So you have the 2 Dawn attached, and then you get another 2k. What this will do is you can make a 9k swing this turn, on the turn you do this play, but there's something else. This 2k power increase will last up to the end of your opponent's turn. So this makes a 7k leader. So this is really good. Now, obviously, you can play the yellow-red Sabo and the yellow-black Luffy, and he'll do the same, right? But I believe thanks to the Ace ability, you guys can do this much more consistently, which means he's a 7k leader more consistently as well. This is why I think he's the most fun out of the 3, actually. So, what happens with Sanji is, let's imagine for some reason, I mean you're playing 4 copies of each, and you just don't see any of the grown-up versions. For example, you may see the grown-up version Sabo, but you don't have the kid Sabo. So, there's no need to put him on the top of your life. What you can do is you see the other 4 cards, put one on the top of your life, and then you use his ability. Now, in case you don't know, at the end of the turn, you trash all face-up cards in your life. So you need to take that life away or it'll go to waste. This is where the Sanji comes in handy. With this deck, you pretty much want to go second. Why? On the very first turn, you just play him for 2 Dawn. And on the next turn, you do this, you know. You will have 4 Dawn, so what happens is, you do this combo and then you attach the other 2 Dawn to Sanji. If you do not see the combo, by the way, because if you do this, see the combo, I mean, it's pretty simple. You put the grown-up version on the top of your life and use the 2 Dawn that you would attach to play the kids version and just get that power up. So yeah, that's simple. But imagine he whiffs, and then you just attach 2 Dawn, you attack with him, and what happens is you take the top of your life that was face up, and then you replace with the top card of your deck face down, which means he'll not be trashed at the end of your turn. So this is a way of regenerating life, so to speak. So if you do this in very early game, this man does not have 4 lives, he has 5 lives. Which against a dual color is pretty good, so yeah. This is why you play him at 3. You do want to see him on the starting hand along with some other cards. I would like to play him at 4, but this deck does have some problems with space. That's why, again, the same reason of agreeing with 2 of her, I do agree with 3 of her. Satoris, this is just in case you get, is a 2k counter, and in case you get him from life, you can activate him from life. We already know this is a very good card, so it's pretty general. Now, Kazuki Yori, you do play 4 of her, she's a 2k counter, and she is a better version of Sanji. So pretty much when you play her, you take the top or bottom of your life into your hand and put one of the cards from your hand on the top of your life. So this is pretty much the same thing as Sanji, and the only thing you do is you don't need to attack with her, you just play her and she'll fix up your whiff on the search. So obviously we'll be playing 4 of her. Now, this will be 2 Curly Dents for one reason and one reason only. I still don't know, I'm not very sure if I'm gonna be playing 2 Curly Dents, but the reason I would like to play 2 Curly Dents is for a very simple reason. This deck does not have blockers in any sort except for her. And I think against some matchups you do want to see some blockers. And I truly think she's the only blocker that fits this deck. Now, the only problem I have with this card is it's a 4k blocker and it costs 5 of your turn. Very expensive. But you do get to play one of your kit versions of Shambles, Ace or Luffy from hand. So you can kind of combo up. This is why I believe she's a very... she's the only blocker that kind of works with the deck. Some other reason why I'm thinking of whether to use her or not is because you do have some cards on the structure deck itself where it comes to 3 leaders where they let you they kind of do the same with Sanji and Kozuki, where you kind of trade up your lives in case you whiff. I could use the 2 space I'll use with the Dan, but again she's a blocker, and the only thing is this will make very simple to go to the OP07. I made some research on OP07 and I don't know, it's not OP07, it's EV01, which is not a full set, it's just some extra. I don't know how it works especially, but the reason is there'll be 2 cards that I believe will be very good add-ups onto this deck once their sets come out. The first one is the Charlotte Flampe. Now, I'm gonna put a print here, do not worry, you guys are seeing the picture right now. Pretty much she's a 1 cost, and on play, you may add 1 card from the top of your or bottom of your life cards to your hand, and then you draw an additional card. Now, if your search whiffs and you play the 2 copies instead of that card once it comes out, it will not regenerate the life like Sanji and Kozuki let you regenerate the life, but it's still good because you'll not lose that life and you'll get value out of that face-up life. Not only that, you draw 1 extra card. This deck will have many cards in hand thanks to his ability, because every time you whiff, you'll be adding that card and putting another one and so on and so forth. You just keep drawing cards and drawing cards, and pretty much you'll have a lot of cards in your hand for late game to just counter every single attack. Because remember, in your late game, you're pretty much gonna be a 7k leader. Again, if you can keep the combo going, you'll be a 7k leader. This means you'll use less counter to counter out of the attacks late game. So yeah, this is very good, but I don't know if I'll be adding up the Charlotte Flampe, another card that looks much better actually, which will come out in the same structure, in the same set, is Viola, the yellow Viola. She's a 1k counter as well, and she's a blocker as well, but on play, you choose one of the following. Look at all of your opponent's life, then return them in any order, or turn all of your life cards face down. I think this is much better. I think this deck has much good search as it is thanks to the Ace ability, but I don't believe he has as good as whiff preventions. So taking away the 2 Dada that we'll be playing for Viola will help. She is not as strong of a blocker, she is a 0 power blocker and a 2 cost. So for example, going against Sakazuki or Moria or even Red Purple Law, will have some problems, obviously, but I don't know. We'll obviously with gameplay we'll see. But I really wanted to shout out these two cards because obviously they'll have some play here and there. The rest I pretty much agree. The other thing I would like to go through is Yamato. Now, I do agree with 2 Yamato. She pretty much is a whiff prevention as well. When you play her, look at all of your life cards, place one of the cards on the top of your deck, then return all of your life cards in any order. So pretty much she flips down every single card, so if you have one face up, you can flip it down, you rearrange your life, you know what triggers you'll get, and she has Rush. The problem with this card that I have is she's a 5 cost 4k swing. She still has value as a 2k counter, but I don't know, if you really need to regenerate a life and you need to correct that whiff, 5 cost is very much indeed. But she still has use. I've seen many people use her at 4, but I believe 2 is really good. I think 2 is fine because you do need to play 4 of each kid version and grown-up version of the brothers, as well as 4 Garp. So yeah, that's why I think with the space you have, you just need to play 2 of her, and then maybe take away the 2 Dandan for Viola. I believe this will be the OP06 when this will be the deck when AB01 will come out. Just until then, there's no need for me to change. Another reason why I really want to play this deck as well, and I'm going through some changes I'll do in the future, is because they confirmed these 3 leaders will have some more support in OP07. So this deck will get better in OP07, and I think it's a very viable deck. We already got some. We'll be getting some support on AB01, and OP07 will still get some more support. So this is a very good contender, I believe. Obviously, there'll be some other leaders that'll be better, but for now, it's good. But yeah, as for 2 Yamatos, I agree. I really don't feel like playing a 5 cost just to prevent a whiff. But yeah, she still has value as 2k, and on late game, because we'll be playing this on late game, mid to late game, attaching her 1 extra daunt so she can make a 5k swing will not be as bad. It's just really the 5 cost that troubles me, to be honest. But yeah, this is why I'm keeping her at 2. Now, Charlotte Pudding. I really would like to enjoy this card. I would play 3, I would not go as 4. Again, you do prefer the yellow color over blue. As you can see, we only play 3 blue cards, and for now, it'll stick to that. But Charlotte Pudding, she's a very good card with us, and it does counter us as well. Now, you guys, if your opponent returns all of their cards, hand cards to their deck and shuffles their deck, then they draw 5 cards. So if they have many cards in hand, they'll just reset to 5. So this is a better blocker law. Not only that, this counters us because, as I said, our strategy relies on having many cards in hand, so then on late game we can just counter all the attacks while keeping our leader at 7k. So every time we're against a Sakazuki or any other leader that plays blue, she'll be there probably, and she will be a problem because we just lose all of that hand advantage. So yeah, she will be a very big problem. Not only that, on play, although she's a 4 cost, she's a 4k, and again, the same reason as Yamato, when you have, if you play her at 4 dawn, that means you, on next turn, will not need as much dawn and you can just attach 1 and swing for 5. Or attach 2 and swing for 6 if it's a 6k leader on the other side. So yeah, I believe this card will have more use than Yamato. Again, if you can keep your hand advantage with this deck is really strong actually. And this card will just help us. Will help us a lot with that. It's just unfortunate that we play 2 of her because there's no space. Now, Tsuru. I'll be only playing 1 and 1 only. I don't think you need a 2. Many people play this at 1 and many people just don't play this card. I believe you'll need this card because you trash the card from your hand, return one of your opponent characters to its owner, hand. Now, she's a 5 cost, 4k, same thing with Pudding. If you play her, don't worry because, I mean, you're mid to late game, so on next turn you can attach 1 to swing with her if you need. The problem is you trash 2 cards, you need a card advantage. but this comes late game. For example, let's go for Gecko Moria, the 8 cost drop. If you manage, she returns any single character to the owner's hand. So if you put the Gecko Moria back to hand, they'll have to spend 8 on next turn to play him again. They'll get his effects obviously again, but I don't know, this kind of limits their attacks, because if they play an 8 cost, then they'll only have 2 costs to attach to characters and swing on you, and if you can keep the 7k leader, as I said, this comes very handy. But you only play 1 because this opportunity or this need will not come as much. So most of the time she'll be a 2k counter, as I said, but her effect will come in handy late game or to finish game. Sometimes you play her to bounce a very big blocker and then just swing for a game. That can help too. Another card that helps you finish game is Amaru. This is why I don't know, I really want to play one of him, but I don't know if I'll play one of him or just a third Charlotte Pudding, or maybe I was thinking a fourth Sanji Spilev. just in case, you know. But yeah, Amaru will come in handy to help you finish game. For example, Borsalino is one of the best blockers in the game, and if you need to go through a Borsalino, you can play this to kind of rest him, and then just add 3k to any person that you have on board, and then helps you go for a game. You also can get him from a trigger, and if you really need to, you can discard 2 cards to regenerate 1 life. As I said, I'm gonna keep repeating myself so you guys know everything I'm talking about. This deck, this strategy relies on you having a lot of card advantage. So if you can keep that hand advantage, sorry, not card advantage, you can trashing 2 to regenerate a life will not be as a problem as many other decks would have. But yeah, most of the time you will use this to finish a game. But the trigger can come in handy in desperate times, but you'll not see it as much in life. The other thing is Sanji Spilev. Why do I really want to play 3 of him or even 4 of this card? Very simple. So, you know, if you whiff with your search ability, you will be taking away the life and putting this back in, and you need to put 1 card back on top, face down. You just put this. If you have this on your hand, you try as much as possible to put this on top of your life, so then you can take the life. This goes to trash, but you activate this trigger effect, which is you draw 2 cards. It's the main effect. So this is one of the perfect cards to replace. This is why I really think playing 4 can be an option, because this also increases the chance of seeing this on your life to activate from trigger. This is why, you know, 2 I don't agree with. I agree with 3 or more, not 2. But yeah, pretty much every time you whiff, you try to, if you have this card in hand, you just take away the life that you have face up and place this card face down and pass turn. And then you don't need to be afraid to lose life, because you're getting so much value out of this. So yeah, this was a somewhat bigger video. I think I went through everything, the kids version and grown-ups version. I went through this very quickly. I think you guys get it. Garp, very simple, is the searcher where you just search any of the brothers. So yeah, that's it. I think I went over the strategy and what you want to do with the deck. This deck I'll be playing in OP06, as well as the Red Purple Law updated for OP06. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did, and goodbye.